you just few minutes of the overview. What is Paryushan, what is Das Lakshana. All right, this way you got some knowledge about this. The purpose of life is to realize oneself. That is the Jain philosophy. Okay, what is my purpose? The purpose from the Jain point of view is to realize oneself and to experience wholeness, peace, compassion, and reverence for all life. This is, if I don't accomplish these things in this life, then I haven't fulfilled the purpose. Okay. And the purpose of Paryushan is also similar things, is to purify our soul by observing and correcting our faults. All our faults, there are two things, two major category of the faults, mithyatva and kashay. If I really tell you what are my faults, okay, the fault is a mithyatva in a sense that mithyatva is I am a soul, but my action is at least I am a body. That's what my problem is. Sometimes in knowledge point of view, if somebody asks me, I'll tell you, yeah, I am soul. But I am in reality, when the time comes, when rubber hits the road, what happens? I act like I am a body. That is the major fault. Okay, that is mithyatva. Once you get rid of your mithyatva, you acquire samyaktva. The road is easier, relatively. Nothing is easy, but I'm just saying that relatively the road is easy. And then the kashay, krodh, man, maya, lobh, all the vices. If you can conquer the kashay, and instead of using the word conquering, if you can eliminate the kashay from your life, then you made it. You fulfill the purpose of the life. And that is the most important things. Keep anything what you do. This is the most important one. If you don't even accomplish anything in this mithyatva or kashay, then you have wasted your time. That's a very key things for Jain things. Any Jain rituals you perform, is the end result, is my mithyatva is gone or my kashay is reduced, then I fulfill that ritual properly and I accomplished it. But if that is not happened, I remain the same as it is. Only while doing rituals, I reflect some. But that one has not even any permanent effect. All right. So that means you were not really convinced about that rituals. And that is the reason sometimes I put more emphasis on the basic fundamentals of it. Okay. Instead of saying, no, do this way, that way, that way. No, they are all important. But if the end result is not being accomplished at all, then all those things are useless. That is the most important, and keep that things in the mind. Whether it is in the scripture or not, that's everything is right. But if the end result you haven't accomplished it, then everything is wrong. That's the point I'm trying to bring it out. So requesting for forgiveness for our mistakes, taking vows to minimize our faults, all these are good, okay? But if you become just a mechanical, do these things and doing, that's the end of it, then it is a waste. During Paryushan, we should strive to minimize our worldly affairs and concentrate on the qualities of the true self. Austerity, the control of one's desire for material pleasure, is a part of spiritual training. That's what we are going to do next. The austerities are the control of my desire. And control of that is the austerity. Austerity does not mean like, oh, I'm fasting today or I'm doing a trade. And that is not the austerity. Okay. Austerity is at the end. Did you control your desire? If you have controlled the desire, then all the things what you did is proper. Okay. And it is the same thing comes back and forth again. And Jain scripture recommends a minimum 3 days of fasting, because just like the minimum what they recommended, okay, in a sense that if you do the fasting, you can control over your food, and food is the largest one. And for our like any attachment, that's the food product is the large. Anyway, let me just go through a couple of things more. Uh, just a minute. Okay, I think you can read the first one. It is kind of a generally is described properly. All right, and here we discussed it last time. What is Paryushan word is composed of Pari plus verse Ushan. What means in reality, Paryushan is to come together from all direction, and Parva is religious or spiritual activity celebrated together. So during the Paryushan, we come together to celebrate religious and spiritual activities. So we uplift ourselves and we inspire others to do it also. That is a significant benefit by celebrating Parva together. Okay. The simple meaning is people coming together for religious activity. Okay. So that's that one. Now, sometimes people get confused. Paryushan has these 9 different names in the scripture. Okay, depending upon when the scripture was written, and at that time what was the from which area the things were written, and what was this Ardhamak, the Prakrit language, where it was most popular, and what kind of the uh, names they were using. So what I'm trying to tell you, don't think Paryushan is the only name. There are so many other names in the scripture, because name is in Ardhamagdi Prakrit, and Ardhamagdi is a spoken language, and at that time, and the spoken language varies from space to space, from state to state, depends upon how far you are going, and they have a different words coming up. So just keep in mind that way. These are the separate many names for Paryushans. Now these are the 5 activities that's the recommended in the scripture, that these 5 every person should do it. One is the Jivdaya or Amari Pravartan. No, these words everybody use it. Make sure we help animals. We have a compassion for animals. And second, humanitarian activities, which is Sadharmik Vatsalya. Okay. Now keep that one mind, both humanitarian activity and Amari Pravartan. These are the most significant action that what we do during the Paryushan. And the third one is also important. All fives are important actually. Is the forgiveness, ksamapana. Whatever animosity you may have during the entire year, and sometimes we have a tendency to keep it with us for a long, long time. This one, you see it, if we can forgive and forget and start again. In the ancient time, what did the monks were doing it? The day when they settle for Chaumasi, for Chaturmas, they do the Samvatsari Pratikraman on the very first day, generally on the first of the month. And this is, I'm talking about the Hindi or Gujarati month we are talking here. Okay, the Hindi month or Gujarati month, which is Ashar Sud Punam. Ashar Sud Punam is the year end, and the next day they come. If the monks are already settled before Ashar Sud Punam and they decided to stay for 4 months in that place, first thing they do is the Samvatsari Pratikrama. It is not like Bhadravad Sud Pancham or Chauth, okay, like what we have it. That tradition came lot late. In the earlier time, which is near Mahavir's time, the monks, there was no transportation, there was no electricity. Each village was kind of independent. They don't depend on the others. Every village is for independent. Today, we are so interdependent. All right, so everything is kind of a connected. 2,500 years ago, most of the things were independent. All right, so monks used to do is do the first Samvatsari Pratikraman, bring the whole community together and ask everybody to forgive each other. Even though when there are small villages and everything, their animosity lasts for generation after generation. Okay, is in the big cities, the animosity is not lasting that long because we don't have to depend on anybody. Well, in the small village, these are the only few families who live, and you see them every day, and that is the reason they used to do it. Right, Samvatsari Pratikraman first, then for the next 4 months, they do all their religious activity in their spare time because it was the rainy seasons and they have lots of spare time in the rainy season. After the rainy season is over, then the things are very busy for everybody. Okay, so I'm just want to give you little history how the things changed as the time passes. Don't get any ideas in Jainism what you are doing, any rituals, anything today. That was the way it was done during Mahavir's time. We may have given some impression, but that is not the case if you look at the historical point of view. All right. Now, then they say do the Attam Tap. That is also recommended, in the 5 activities. One, and that should be pure and pious and no shalya. Shalya means defect free, defects of character. Okay, there are 3 defects of character: Maya, which is deceit; Niyanu or Nidan means desire for personal gain. That, oh, if I will do a thumb up, if I can get these things, or I am doing it to acquire that my son get a job or something like that. Okay, that is niyano, where you are asking something in lieu of the attempta. anytime you are asking something or greed, or anytime you do any tapascharya because of fear, then it is all considered niyanu, okay? And nidan or niyanu, and it has no benefit, period. Jainism is very, very clear in that sense. If you have done anything under nidan or niyanu, means you are doing something in fear or greed, then you are missing the boat. You are wasting your time. And then mithyatva means you are doing something which is, you don't have any knowledge about it. And you are just doing it because you feel, oh, your guru is saying, do it this way. At least you are doing something. Now, there is no such things in Jainism, that one is, okay? You have to know what you are doing. There is no two way about it. You have to do those way. That's way you can reflect it properly, and you can progress it, and you can achieve the ultimate goal. The spreading of religious principles, Chaitya Paripati. Like you go from one upashraya to another upashraya, one temple to another temple, you meet other communities, and you spread the religious principles. So that's a five. This is most important one. Make sure we practice these things during this time. And Das Lakshana Parva, these are the 10 virtues. And some of you may have heard about these virtues, some of you not. But Digambar tradition, they name the Paryushan, they also call Paryushan, but they give a specific name, is the Das Lakshana Parva, and these are the 10 religious virtues. And they dedicated one day for each virtue. And like Kshama is the first day because they start their Paryushan or Das Lakshana on last day of the Svetambar versus the first day of the Digambar. Okay, so they do it 9 days afterwards, while Svetambars, no, they do 7 days before and then 8 days. But the most important day is the Kshamapna day. Okay, and that everybody celebrates on the same day. Later on, the Svetambar Murti project, change it one day earlier because of other reason. I don't want to go into those kind of the reason here at this time because we will be spending too much time on those. Okay, you can read the history, you can read my articles on it, and that's the one. They are all on Jaina Library website. But these are all the 10 virtues. Okay, Kshama, Mardhav, Arjav, Sauch, Satya, Sanyam, Tap, Tyag, Kinchinya, Brahmacharya. And they take every day one virtue, and they do all the discussions on that particular virtue. Some read Tattva Sutra, which has 10 chapters, and they read one chapter at a time because Tattva Sutra is one of the book which is like complete Jain philosophy, and they revitalize their philosophy into it. Okay, so let's me get going now. And the meaning of the Kalpa Sutra, that's what also the Kalpa Sutra is read by Svetambar. Okay, Digambar tradition reads these things, all 10 virtues, and one virtue every day, or Tattva Sutra. Svetambar, basically they read the Kalpa Sutra, and Kalpa Sutra is a scripture. Important things in Kalpa Sutra it consists of is the life of Bhagwan Mahavir. And everybody wants easy reading little bit on the Parva day because it's a celebration, and that's why there is a life of Bhagwan Mahavir. So they choose that particular scripture. It has a detailed account of Bhagwan Mahavir's life. But the meaning of the Kalpa Sutra is uh, a Jain scripture that includes a detailed account of life. I just told you that. And another thing, Kalpa means an activity which enhances religious knowledge, conduct, and self control. That is the scripture which enhances Gnan, conduct, or shield, and tap, finance. So, Kalpa Sutra is a scripture which describes how to enhance our Gnan, Charitra, and tap. Okay. All right. And that's it. That's all. I wanted to just quit here because other things you can really read about it, and all the slides are there. And if you have any questions, you know it, because I wanted to finish the other topic also. So let me conclude here. There is some history I have given over here in the Kalpa Sutra, but which I think you can read and understand it easily. Okay. But if you have any questions, you can always call, like tomorrow, day after tomorrow, in any presentation I'm going at the quick Q&A sessions. All right. So let's go and finish the